I am concerned that in the age of corona and social isolation, that this may serve as an arena for companies, for profit-driven companies, to make more profit. Whilst changes in society are also opportunities, and while social isolation can be compensated by digital communication, by telephone calls, by Zoom, by Skype, by education, online education, it can also be a great opportunity to leverage the digital, the transference from the analog and the interpersonal and the physical communications to digital communication, where we can exchange our personalities and active materials important for our common growth with each other quickly and more efficiently. That is also a possibility of this social isolation. It is in the game of shadows which are connected to but not of the same matter as the entities at work themselves, which needs to be understood. What is at the background, whose interests are being served, and how to leverage the situation to serve the greatest good of humanity, of the individual, of the flourishing of the seedlings, of organisms, of humanity, of the children of the earth, to take advantage of the incredible opportunities for machinization and automation and computation that can expand. And if we ride it and if we harness it, we can experience a 1,000-year, 100,000-year golden age. But in order to do this, one needs to put priorities in place. How do we go about building this? What is the role of religion, of people of conscience, of the church, of the mosque, of the intellectual, of the interpreter, of the academic? How is it that the entire core material, which is at the source of human interactivity, has been taken over by committees which are making decisions based on political shadowing, which is increasingly distant from the core subjects? And time and again we hear of stories of how the bureaucracy and the committee life is tripping on itself and is making mistakes, whilst the generations and multiple generations of religious thinking, of mature religious thinking that has insight into how cycles work within crisis and out of crisis. Why isn't there a little bit more skepticism or a little bit more fortitude about the opportunities and to champion the importance now of digital education, of digital services, of the commitment of government to the individual's digital information service, the right to know, the right for access, the right for services, accurate services for the individual, for the family, for children, for health. The entire turning around and refocusing of the government, not on the government or not on profit-making institutions or profit-making companies, because they are not individuals, they are not personalities, they are not entities which feel, they are not cognizant. It is the cognizant material, the individual, the human, throughout the entire cycle of growth from childhood until a long and mature old age or young age at an old time. This is the time for the mystic. This is the time for the spiritualist. This is the time for the thinker. This is the time for long-term understanding of where society is growing. This is the time for prayer. And this is the time for the rabbi and the priest and the imam and the academic to understand that the world is at the flipping point, at the changing point, and a crisis like a virus has been able to crystallize it, to frame it in such a clear way that there certainly should be more debate and thinking about the opportunity. As I heard a fascinating interview, that it could be a situation where our leaders panicked, listening to bureaucrats that functioned on an automated, operative, bureaucratic way, and that the things which are going to come out of this may be subject to accident. So, therefore, it is important for long-term spiritual thinking, broad thinking, to offer perspective on this. That if indeed it is an accident, and if it's not an accident, it's a tragedy, how to turn it around, back again, for the purpose of recommitting to the blossoming of the individual. And that, I think, is the poignancy of the Day of Atonement at this period of time.